The tower at Malmstrom Air Force Base lit up before dawn. A single-engine aircraft was crossing into restricted airspace. No transponder, no flight plan, no response on radio, just a blip on the scope closing fast. Within 3 minutes, the alert scrambled 3 F-16s from the 120th Fighter Wing. Lieutenant Zach Harper led the formation. He was 28 disciplined third in his class at Laughlin. He'd never flown a real intercept, but training kicked in like muscle memory. Throttle to afterburner, climb, bank left, vector intercept, confirm visual, engage if required. The sky was clear, the kind of morning that looked peaceful on the ground. At 21,000 feet, peace didn't matter. Rules of engagement were specific. No ID, no response. No deviation meant hostile intent. His heads-up display caught the target at 8,000 feet. Steady speed, level altitude, no evasion, just drifting closer to the UAV command center below. Unidentified aircraft, Harper called over encrypted comms, "You are entering restricted military airspace during active operations. Turn around immediately, or you will be fired upon." No response. He armed his cannon, thumb on the trigger guard. Then he saw it. A faded Red Falcon insignia on the Cessna's right wing. Weather-worn, almost gone, but unmistakable. He'd seen that emblem in old briefing archives. A legend. Red Falcon. A name spoken in low tones by instructors who still believed in courage that defied orders. A name erased from official records in 2012. He eased off the trigger, said nothing, just watched the plane glide like it belonged there. Her name was Arden Blake. She flew the A-10 Thunderbolt II, the Warthog, slow and ugly, but lethal. She flew it low, often under 500 feet, hugging terrain. She didn't talk much. Let the engines and targeting pods speak for her. In 2010, she led a 4-ship formation over northern Raqqa. Mission suppress enemy movement along a corridor near a refugee line. Intelligence was tight-backed by signals intercept. The target was flagged as an enemy munitions stockpile. Command cleared hot. But she saw something different through her FLIR. Heat signatures that didn't move like combatants. Small bodies. Children clustered behind a mud wall. Laundry flapping. A kettle steaming. She called it in. Negative. Non-combatants in target zone. Request immediate abort. Strike approved, came back the voice from above. She didn't argue. Just banked away. Her wingman didn't. Neither did the rest. She was the only one who didn't release. 63 civilians survived because of that banked turn. The strike missed the real target and hit housing. 3 days later, she was pulled from rotation. No court-martial, no inquiry, just an envelope and a silence that told her to disappear. Her call sign, Red Falcon, was struck from training records. Her name was never mentioned again inside the wire. She packed her flight suit and left Nellis AFB without ceremony. The last person who saluted her was a mechanic who didn't know what she'd done. Arden never corrected him. She settled in Great Falls, Montana. Quiet place, wide sky, a good spot to disappear. Locals knew her as Miss Blake, flight instructor. She taught civil aviation at a regional college. Most students flew the T-6 Texan II basic turboprop trainers used by the Air Force. She never bragged about knowing them better than anyone, just taught them with precision and few words. Her hangar was clean tools in line. She kept her logbook tight and her jacket older than most of her students. Leather scuffed, patchless. No rank, no wings. She drank black coffee and read the paper in full. When the kids asked why she always double-checked fuel lines herself, she said one thing: no one else flies it but you. On October 18th, her phone buzzed at 0534. No ringtone. No name. Just a message. Misfire imminent. Sector 7. 70 civilians confirmed. Strike window T-minus 93 minutes. If you still know how to fly, do something. No sender ID. Just coordinates. She didn't call anyone, didn't speak, just walked across the field to the oldest plane in the row. A Cessna 310. Twin prop. Nothing flashy. She ran her hands under the fuselage, checked oil pressure, manually pulled off the engine cowling with practiced speed. It was all muscle memory. No flight plan filed, no tower contact, no transponder. She rolled the hangar doors open herself. 32 minutes later, she was airborne, climbing west toward restricted airspace. The radar operators picked her up at 6,000 feet. No transponder, no squawk, no clearance. The plot moved straight toward Sector 7. That sector was hot, scheduled for unmanned drone operations. Target suspected insurgent hub. On the ground, 2 Predator drones were fueled and ready munitions loaded. Orders locked. In the air, her Cessna kept a level climb. Props steady. She touched nothing that didn't need touching. Her scan was constant altimeter fuel RPM nav. No wasted motion. Controllers at Malmstrom flagged the aircraft as unidentified. No military tags. No known civil schedule. Speed, increasing angle, direct. They couldn't hail her. No response on guard frequencies. They watched the blip move across the screen, relentless. Inside the cockpit, Arden adjusted trim with 2 fingers. She leaned forward once, checked her stopwatch, tapped it twice, and nodded. She knew exactly how long it would take to reach the perimeter. The scramble order hit the 120th Fighter Wing just before 0700. 3 F-16C Fighting Falcons lifted within 4 minutes. Full afterburner. Angle climb, supersonic by 30,000 feet. Lieutenant Zach Harper took point. Call sign Viper 1. Fresh out of advanced training at Luke AFB, he'd flown intercept drills. He hadn't done this for real. His radar locked onto the Cessna approaching Sector 7. Speed 180 knots. Altitude 8,000 feet. Flight path steady. No maneuver. No transponder. No ID. Harper got close, swept left to visual range. His HUD caught the silhouette. Twin-engine, low-wing, old paint. He expected something amateur. What he got was surgical precision. No wavering. No panic. He switched to comms. Unidentified aircraft. This is Viper 1. You are entering restricted airspace. Turn around, or you will be engaged. Nothing. The Cessna didn't flinch. His finger hovered over the trigger. Protocol called for a warning burst. Next step, weapons hot. Then he saw it. Right wing, just above the flap hinge. A faint Red Falcon. Diving posture. Paint chipped but still visible. He blinked. Looked again. It was real. Every Academy student heard the story. Red Falcon. Top combat pilot. Syria. Erased from records. Disappeared after refusing an order. And now flying straight into a hot zone. He held fire. Control, this is Viper 1. Target aircraft is displaying unauthorized historic insignia. Request identity verification. Pause. Then Viper 1. No such call sign in current database. Maintain intercept. Prepare to engage if non-compliant. But he didn't move. He just stayed there, close enough to see a woman at the controls. Calm. Watching him through the side window. No helmet. Just sunglasses. And silence. In the Cessna, Arden reached under the seat, flipped open a black case, and extracted a shortwave panel. Old gear. Analog. Manual frequency dial. She turned it with care. Found a band no one used anymore. Pushed a recessed switch with her thumb. It clicked red. The signal began pulsing. Priority Alpha. It had one purpose break into every military channel above classification Echo. Cold War relic. Still buried deep in the systems. Still coded to respond to signals with override-level access. At Malmstrom's UAV Ops Center, alarms sounded. Not threat alarms. Archive-level intrusion alerts. General Marcus Wexler was reviewing strike parameters when the sound hit. He hadn't heard it since 2005. He froze. The signal bypassed encrypted comms and printed one line on his secure console. Priority Alpha. Active. Code match Red Falcon. Level Vermilion. His blood ran cold. He tapped into the emergency line. Locked down all UAV strikes. Sector 7 on immediate hold. Full ISR recon dispatch. I want boots and eyes now. Officers stared. One asked, "Sir, who's Red Falcon?" Wexler didn't answer. He stepped back from the table and whispered, "She saved me once." Below, the Cessna kept flying. The order hit the tower like a power cut. All drone activity. Halt. Now. The screens inside the UAV command center froze mid-execution. Pilots lifted their hands off controls. Eyes shifted to Wexler. Reconfirm target ID, he said. Ground teams in Sector 7 report status A, junior officer stammered. Initial recon civilians present. No weapons visible. Estimated 70, sir. Wexler didn't hesitate. Abort all strikes. Reclassify target zone. Civilian protection protocol. Red flag the whole file. Above the base, Lieutenant Harper received a new set of instructions. Viper 1 escort unknown aircraft. Do not engage. Pilot is friendly. Repeat, do not engage. He banked gently, took position at the Cessna's wing. Viper 2 and 3 fell into line. Formation smooth tight. No comms. Inside the Cessna, Arden didn't react, didn't wave, didn't nod. She adjusted rudder trim, kept flying. Harper eased his throttle to match her speed. Close enough now to see inside the cockpit, her hands steady, her posture straight. She glanced at him once. No words. Just lifted her right hand in a two-finger salute. Barely a motion. Wrist flat. Like she'd done it 1,000 times before. He returned it. Simple. Quiet. Like the old stories. No one said her name. But every pilot in the air knew who she was. They cleared her to land on the civilian strip. No military escort on the ground. Just a line of crew waiting in silence. She taxied slow. Shut the engines down with no flourish. Climbed out wearing jeans boots and the same leather jacket. Wexler met her at the edge of the apron. He looked older. She didn't. You shouldn't have had to do this, he said. She shrugged. Someone had to. He offered her a sealed envelope. Your discharge. Reviewed. Overturned. Full reinstatement. Back pay. Pension. She looked at it. Didn't take it. I'm not coming back, Marcus. That version of me is done. He nodded. No push. Just respect. The base public affairs officer approached, asked for a photo. Maybe a press statement. She said, no. Then, what do we tell the press? He asked. She didn't stop walking. Tell them 70 people are alive. That's enough. Wexler walked beside her quiet for a few steps. You saved them again. I'm not here to be a hero, she said. I'm here because no one else was. They reached her plane. She ran her hand along the wing, checking for stress fractures like she'd done 1,000 times before. This world forgets fast, Wexler said. She nodded. Then we just keep doing what's right, even if no one sees it. Arden ran her post-flight checks in reverse, systematic, no wasted motion. Every dial, every switch verified like always. She didn't rush. The tower cleared her to taxi. No fanfare. Just a routine civilian departure logged as Instructor 17. Latine. Harper stood by the hangar watching from behind his visor. He said nothing. Just lifted a hand as she passed. She didn't wave back. Just gave the plane power and rolled forward. The propellers spun. The old Cessna lifted clean off the runway with grace no one expected. Climb was steady. Pitch perfect. Harper followed it with his eyes until it disappeared beyond the ridgeline. He didn't ask where she was going. He already knew. Only if needed. And only if no one else would. A week later in the ready room near flight ops, someone hung a small frame. No ceremony, no names. Just a photo. Blue sky. A Cessna in motion. On the wing, a barely visible Red Falcon. Below it, one line of text. Flying not for orders, but for conscience. New pilots noticed it, asked about it. The older ones didn't say much, just nodded. The legend wasn't on paper anymore, but it was there in their silence, their posture, the way they checked their instruments a little more carefully. Some stories don't need medals. Some heroes don't wear uniforms. She flew once more because someone had to. That was enough.